So I've had to learn a few lessons recently. They weren't always fun, but they were definitely valuable. I think I'll get into those lessons, what those lessons were, in another episode, but in today's episode, I want to share with you what I learned. And that is how to be okay at replacing your brakes. Replacing your brakes, as in pads and rotors, is really a simple job. Not easy, but simple. It comes down to basically 4 steps. Take off the wheel, remove the caliper, remove the pads, take off the rotors, and then do those in reverse as you put on the new ones. Now in between, 5th step, you have to compress the piston. So then in reverse, if you compress the piston, put the new rotors on, put the new pads in, replace the caliper, and put the wheel back on. Now, if you've never done this, those words might be foreign to you, so I'll show you what those different components are. You know what a wheel is, so I'm going to start with a rotor. That's what this is, what you're looking at. This is a rotor, this is the old one. Here are brake pads, and then these are clamps, but they're going to represent the caliper in my illustration. Alright, so here is how these work. You've got the pads pushing up against the rotor from each side, and then every time you hit the brakes, the caliper is going to push these together. As these wear down and get thinner, the caliper is going to push out the piston a little bit further. That way these stay up against the rotor with pressure. So, when you're replacing your brakes, what you're going to do is you take the caliper off. Okay, you pop that off, and then you slide all of these out. Take out the old brake pads. Now, when you put the new brake pads in, they're going to be thicker than the old brake pads because the old brake pads are worn down. So you have to compress the pistons. You'll need a C-clamp to compress them, to bring that back in, because you can't just screw them back in like this, because these are clamps. Basic tools you'll need: lug wrench, a ratchet, and a socket, brake tool, or a C-clamp. That's about it. Now what comes in handy to have on hand is a flathead screwdriver, and either have a wire or a bungee cord that you can hang the caliper on. Also, you might need a special bit, depending on your vehicle, to remove the rotor. In my case, I needed a Torx bit, so you might want to check that. And that's all you need.
So before you jack the car up, you'll want to loosen the nuts, and sometimes those can be really stiff. If you recall from a previous episode, I have this really skimpy little jack that came with the car, and actually the place where you mount the jack the part is missing. So you'll notice this jack slips, and it is no good for this job. So I went to Wally World and picked me up this jack. It's a little bit better.
Okay, here's the old rotor, completely chewed up. Okay, we've got to take this clip off, and then there are 2 screws on the back. Take the clip out.
You'll want to hang the caliper on a bungee cord or a cable tie or wire, just something so it's not dangling by the brake lines.
You want to make sure that if your old one is vented, that your new one is also vented. I just learned what that means. Compress the piston. Now it's time for the new pads. The one with a clip goes inside the piston. So it fits in here just like a puzzle piece. And inside there. And it clips in. There we go. And then the front one, again, puzzle piece fit. Snug fit. There we go. And then bolts in the back. Clip goes back in. Alright. Give the brakes a pump. Remember to take your bungee cord out.
And that's about all there is to that, except on the back right side there is a brake sensor. So I just want to show you quickly where that is located and how to put that in if your car happens to be like this.
Here's the new sensor, and it goes into the brake pad. There's a hole right there. It goes like so in here. And then plugs into there. So let's get the old one out. Nothing left. New one in. There we go. Push that right in here and there. I learned a lot during this process. As I said, I'm probably going to make another video talking about some of the lessons and some of the mistakes I made along the way. I hope this helped at least break down some of this process and show you that it is a simple task. If you want to tackle it, if you want to work on a car, this is a decent place to start. If you have somebody who knows more about it, again, I am not a pro. This is something I just learned watching videos, talking to friends, watching friends, working on cars. Something in a way I had to learn. So consult a pro if you have any questions, but it's definitely something you could tackle. Give it a shot. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.